The debate around the BBC documentary on Prime Minister Modi, blocked by the government, continues to rage on, and now it has actually led to unexpected consequences. Anil Antony, the son of Congress veteran A.K. Antony, has quit. I'm Barkha, Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. In a few moments from now, we'll be talking to Anil Antony to try and understand what made him walk out of all party posts, sharing an angry tweet pointing out the irony that in a free speech debate, he'd actually been asked to take down his own opinions on the BBC documentary. Anil Antony had actually said that despite differences of ideology with the BJP, he could not support the documentary that has been made by the BBC on the Prime Minister, one that he accused of anti India prejudices that are long standing. And he also referenced Jack Straw, who's been quoted in this documentary, the former British Foreign Secretary, as being the brains behind the Iraq war, which, of course, we now know the evidence of which the so called weapons of mass destruction were falsified. Since then, his party asked him to take down that opinion. It was contradictory to the position that the party had taken. And when he did not, he said he would prefer to resign instead. So, as I said, this is the political aftermath of the BBC documentary. Let's go across now to Anil to try and understand why he's done what he's done. Anil, thank you for talking to us. Now, you're actually the son of the ultimate sort of Congress veteran. Your father, A.K. Antony, was seen to be a long-time Gandhi family loyalist. This decision couldn't have been easy for you. What made you do it?
No, of course, my political career is only like 3-4 years old, and in the 3-4 years, when compared to many of my other party men, include like I'm not naming them, but there were many veterans who left who had been in the party for decades, like 4 decades, 5 decades, 6 decades, etc. And when compared to that, like I'm like a little toddler still in my four limbs.
Yeah.
But in that short political career, I never, first of all, this was not an area which this is not even an area which is my first, let's say this was, whatever happened was by accident, because my first interest, my primary interest was always technology. That is something which I was most passionate about. But certain scenarios led me to this existing whatever I did in the last 3-4 years. But whatever is happening is very painful, because even in my dreams, in my entire life, did I actually think that a day will come like this where I'll have to leave because of certain things that I did find to be very painful and discouraging within the organization that I was born into, and which is the only organization I still have any kind of regards or love for.
Yeah. So let's talk about first your position on the BBC documentary. Explain why you took the position that you did and you have.
See, end of the day, like I didn't make a very small tweet yesterday. It just had 3 lines. And personally, I think it was a very innocuous tweet, which I again didn't think that it will even get. It was not meant for anything else. Like I just expressed certain views, and those views were mainly observations which I thought I had, and I just had to share with some people around me. And that tweet was very simple. Like end of the day, the first line itself, I make it very clear that I am a person who has a lot of deep political differences with the BJP. Yet I raised 2 points which I think any ordinary Indian would have been at least curious about. Like one of them I mentioned was the like first of all, even before that, I'm going to tell you that I, as a person, I'm very like I am a very democratic person. Like I am a Democrat, a true like a I would say I try to be as much. I try to be a Democrat as much as possible, and I'm very proud and happy about the fact that India is the world's largest democracy, one of the oldest democracies, and end of the day, a country like India, we can never claim to be a democracy unless there are fundamental freedom of speeches and expression. So I, as a person, first of all, I want to make it very, very clear that I am not for the ban of any documentary or any book or any film or any show or anything like that, because that is
So
not
you
how I
don't,
do.
so you don't agree with the ban. You don't agree with the
So,
government
of course,
decision to
this was never
block this
about the ban.
documentary.
Like, finally, this entire thing was never about the ban. Like, I am not for the ban of anything. Like, even when some of my colleagues and my ex-colleagues and my friends, etc., were actually screening this documentary across the country, and there were bans, etc., like, I was not happy with it. Neither did I think that any of these bans should be there. But at the same time, this was something else. Where, end of the day, of course, everything should be allowed, but at the same time, we also should have certain common sense and political sense to understand where certain things come from. And in this particular documentary, the brains behind it, one of the brains behind it, one Mr. Jack Straw, is actually the same mastermind behind the Iraq war. And this is a disaster which resulted in the death of lakhs of people and the displacements of tens of millions of people. And when somebody like that actually comes with a project to India, obviously, as a concerned Indian, I will be cautious, and I did reach that. And the second thing was, again, like, it is nothing to do with any ban or anything, but it is something which is my broader fundamental belief. And end of the day, like, we all may have different political views. Me and you may agree on a lot of things, we may disagree on a lot of things, but end of the day, when it comes to certain things, especially that pertains to our country's broader core interest, sovereignty is definitely one of them. And then I do think that partisan politics should not go above it.
Yeah.
And that is something else which I actually
So
raised.
what
So,
happened? So what happened after this tweet? You obviously got calls to take down your tweet, and in a very
some
strongly
people,
worded,
a lot
yeah.
of
What
people,
happened?
so a lot of people were very unhappy. Like, there were a lot of nudges to delete it, because it was gaining a lot of unexpected traction. I never expected that. Also, then suddenly there were, let's say, give a clarification, give a, like, say something contrary. But end of the day, like, I personally thought that whatever I did, like, it is based on my own firm convictions and whatever my conscience said. And when something is like that is there, like, I didn't see any point in doing any of that. Then some people got very riled up, and suddenly I started getting, like, you can go to my Facebook page. Twitter doesn't have much, but you go to my Facebook page, and I
Yeah,
haven't deleted anything. Everything.
The Congress base has learnt well from the right wing base on how to troll. So,
Yes. So I
as
didn't
someone who's
delete.
been the social media
That's why I didn't
coordinator,
delete anything. I just left everything as it is, because I want the entire country and my state to actually see what these people actually are. Because suddenly, like, you have hundreds of hate messages and threats and abuses and a lot of explicit comments, etc., coming from a lot of places. And I know for a fact that these lot of places are within the Congress party itself. And this is not the first time. Like, in 2017, 19, 20, 21, etc., etc., also I have seen it. I myself has experienced it in various degrees. But end of the day, I'm a sporty fellow, and I just took it as it is, and that is how things are. But then yesterday, when things reach certain stage, then I realized that, let's say, 4 years down the line, we are still stuck in this particular stage where, like, even somebody like me, or like, I don't think that this kind of toxic environment, destructive environment, is where I would like to be, because I would rather focus on things which I would like to do. That's why I
so do
did
you
what I
find
did.
it? So do you find 2 points of irony? One, this is the same week where a senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh, questioned questioned the surgical strikes, and Rahul Gandhi himself had to call those comments ridiculous. On the other hand, you are sort of taking a nationalist position on this, and you basically had to quit because of it. That's one point you may want to comment on. The other point is that you, in your tweet, said that this yatra that was meant to be about love, about uniting the country, instead you've been at the receiving end of sort of toxic abuse. And secondly, you made the point about how, in a sense, if this is about standing up for free speech, then you're being denied your free speech. So talk a little bit about that.
See, end of the day, there are paradoxes, but at the same time, first of all, let us. I want to again make it very clear that I have the highest of regards for Mr. Gandhi and whatever he is trying to do by his yatra. He is walking from Kashmir to Kanyakumari to Kashmir with a purpose of uniting this country, spreading the message of love, spreading the message against hatred. And sadly, I feel sad for him because of the kind of people he has surrounded himself with, because they stand for everything which he doesn't.
Which
because
people?
here,
Which people?
here,
Name
see,
the
I don't
people.
want
You're a
I
free
don't
man now, so you can name the people.
no, no, sadly, like I don't at this stage. I don't want to, let's say, create grudges, nor do I want to raise any personal attacks on people. But like end of the day, generally, like finally, let us look at my scenario itself. I made a comment. I don't think I have said anything which is against the party's principles. I haven't said anything which is against the party's core ethos. I haven't said anything against the party's core values. The only thing which I said, I am sure 99% of Indians, including me, you, and everybody in this country will agree. And end of the day, that is, we shouldn't put partisan politics above our national interest. And the second thing is, end of the day, like there is absolutely nothing with any documentary or film or book or whatever it is, but it makes sense to actually be concerned about where certain things come from. This is all I said, and it irked a lot of people. And then let's say if this is a kind of attitude people have, then I don't know what kind of free speech these kind of people are actually trying to promote.
Yeah, that is the irony. That's what I tweeted. The free speech is cannibalized. The free speech debate is cannibalized free speech. Here's my question. You are seen to be very close to Shashi Tharoor. He was on our platform just a few hours ago, in fact, yesterday, and he had a kind of nuanced position. I guess it's somewhat similar to yours. He said he could understand why the documentary would irritate people. He's been a strong anti-colonialist, but he didn't agree with the government ban of this film. He called it childish. He said India is a much stronger democracy, and by banning films, we present ourselves as insecure and fragile. Uh, you know, that's his position. Is that
You know, I
yours, or do
think
you have a
me and
stronger
Dr.
position
Tharoor.
against the documentary?
So to be very honest, like I didn't know that that this is what he said. But end of the day, I think me and he are saying the same thing, because end of the day, I also don't think that we should be banning anything. All I just said is we should be sometimes concerned about where certain things come from. And the second thing I said is, like, end of the day, like we shouldn't let other, let's say, foreign entities or agencies or institutions actually gain more precedence over. Like, we don't even want to give an impression that that is actually more important in this country, or that has a bigger say than our own national institutions, because end of the day that will erode our institutions in a manner that, I'm not saying this documentary will actually affect our sovereignty, but certain trends in the long run will be bad for our sovereignty. That is what I actually said in the tweet, and I still stand by it, and that is what I think.
So there are those in within your own party who obviously are critics of yours, who say that actually this has nothing to do with the documentary. You've been in a rebellious mood for several weeks. There've been some comment on how for the last couple of months you've even barely been tweeting about the Bharat Jodo Yatra. In fact, you have said more about Shashi Tharoor than you have said about Rahul Gandhi. These are some of the comments that one picks up from your party mates. How do you react to that criticism, that this is your decision to finally quit all the posts and sort of be on your own, is about more than this documentary? It's been brewing for a while. Is that true?
I don't know. So that is why I said, like, whatever happened in the last 24 hours is a catalyst for a lot of changes which had been happening in the Congress in the past few months or even years. Because to be very honest, after the 2001 assembly elections in Kerala, I haven't been that active, because from then my main focus was mainly on my other professional activities, which I actually had made it very clear to my leadership. I had even once written a resignation letter, and I gave it to my chairperson, but then he actually asked to wait because
Hmm.
he felt that the timing may not be that appropriate, and let's
Hmm.
actually still try to create some change. But then the same chairperson actually stood as one of the contenders for the presidential election, and despite even my father actually backing the winning candidate, I stood with him because I thought that he is somebody who actually could bring change, but things didn't work out.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is how life is, where end of the day things happen in unexpected manner, where this is not a day which I hope will come, but it came.
Yeah.
And we had to accept what things are and try to move on.
I have a last question for you. You said Mr. Gandhi, whom you respect, has surrounded himself with the wrong people. What is wrong about the direction in which they're taking him, according to you? Even if you won't name them, what is your principal point of disagreement?
See, end of the day, like, there are, I'm not even going to go into many examples. I am just going to give my particular case where let's say, this is a yatra that is supposed to spread the message of love. This is a message that is, even this whole BBC controversy itself is a fight for free speech, and then like I say something which is nothing against the party's ethos. I just said something which I am fairly sure 99% of this country will actually say, but somebody didn't like it, and so let's say I become the enemy number one because of God knows what the reason is. And then, like, you are actually, these kind of people are actually standing for everything Mr. Rahul Gandhi stands for, because, like, here is a person who is trying to spread the message of love. But then, when I said a tweet which obviously is not even against this party's interest, and a tweet which 99% of this country actually will agree with, but since somebody didn't like it, suddenly for the past 18 hours, like, I'm faced with a lot of online hatred of the highest order. So these kind of situations, so if these are the people who actually claim to be the biggest supporters of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, then they are actually tearing down everything he is actually standing for, and they are the ones who are undermining him.
How's your father reacted to your decision?
I haven't spoken to him after this, so I don't know. So because
That,
he's
that,
in a village in Alapi attending a private wedding of a relative of ours, so he hasn't. Yeah, I haven't spoken to anybody in my family yet. It has been a busy day, but some point
I
later
can
in the night, or
imagine.
maybe one of these days, I will. But yes,
Are you going to join the BJP?
I'm not joining anybody at this moment. I don't even have any future plans for politics at this moment. My primary, like, I think I'll be working more on my technology projects and everything else which I am doing, which I like doing it. So I think that is my primary priority at this moment.
All right, Anil, Antony, we'll leave it there. The ripple effect of this BBC documentary and the free speech debate continues to be felt. We wish you good luck with whatever you decide to do next. Thank you for talking to us and take care.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.